not waste your leave. Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and I want to talk about planning your leave as you approach military retirement. Now, you know me. I'm an analyst. I like crunching numbers. I like working with Excel. So, of course, I had an Excel spreadsheet for my leave plan. I think I did an okay job with my plan, but certainly not an A-plus job. And I think a reason that I was only okay is because I didn't shift into a retirement mindset until it was too late. To understand what happened, it helps to know that my first duty station was Fort Wainwright, Alaska. And one of my earliest memories of an NCO really counseling me was when Sergeant Hansen said, "Do not go home for Christmas." His logic was that everybody was going home for the holidays, and that meant that during that period of time, there wasn't much work going on. So you report to duty, you do some light tasks, and then you leave for the day. Meanwhile, all those people who spent 14 days of leave to go see mom and dad, well, they had to fight crowded airports, and more importantly, they didn't have any leave to take in February when they were really sick of winter. It was probably the best advice that anybody ever gave me. And so I became one of those hoarders who always entered the new fiscal year with like 50 to 60 days of leave. And when it comes to retirement, I think that is a mistake, especially if you understand the COLA trap and why it's a good idea to retire on the 1st of March. Nowadays, I believe that you should use up a fair amount of your leave in the fiscal year before you're actually going to retire. Here's why I say that. In the last 180 days that you're on active duty, there's actually 3 things that are going to be taking you away from the office. You've got your leave, you've got 20 days of permissive TDY, although the Army calls it TAA nowadays, and you've got skill bridge. Now, theoretically, you can take up to 6 months of active duty time to work with your skill bridge partner, but it's probably going to be more like 2 months. And here's the other thing. You can take your 20 days of permissive TDY as a solid chunk in conjunction with your terminal leave, but if you take it as a series of trips, there's this funny little rule in the regulations that complicates things. Army Regulations 600-8-10, paragraph 5-13E1 says, if your TAA is taken as a series of trips, a duty day must be worked between each absence. What that means is you don't take 4 5-day trips. You take 5 4-day trips by regulation. The other thing to keep in mind is that you're going to have to clear post in that last 6 months. And well, it's not really hard. It does take time, and you need the people who you're going to clear with to actually be there. All right. So now let's look at the 6 months before the 1st of March. Of the 11 federal holidays that occur throughout the year, 8 of them land in these 6 months. So given the benefit of hindsight, here's how I would do it. Start terminal leave the day after the Martin Luther King holiday. That's usually in mid-January. Clear post between New Year's Day and Martin Luther King Day. Be present for duty from the 18th of December through New Year's Day. Take your permissive TDY in chunks. 12 to 15 December, 27 to 30th November, 14 to 17th November. Bear in mind that the 13th is probably going to be a minimal manning day. The 30th of October to the 2nd of November, and the 23rd to the 26th of October. Now here's where things get tricky. Ideally, you'd like to do about 60 days of skill bridge, and what you'd really like to do is have them from the 21st of August to about the 20th of October. Depending on your skill bridge partner, that could be tricky. Plus, in order to enroll in skill bridge, you got to have your retirement orders, and HR does not exactly jump to get you those orders. So if those orders get delayed, you can end up wasting a lot of leave and permissive TDY. But by now, you should start to see why carrying 55 days of leave from the year prior to your retirement year into your retirement year is not a very good idea. In this little scheme of mine, I would have only needed 44 days of leave. And from October to February of your retirement year, you earn 12 and a half days of leave. So you really only have to come into your retirement year with like 32 days of leave. My opinion is that you have to change your attitude towards leave in that last full year before retirement. Right about the time that you drop your retirement paperwork, you need to start taking advantage of your leave, or you're going to end up like me and you're on terminal leave for Christmas. Now, if you want to know why I am so fixated on the 1st of March, go watch this video.